Hello, hello, beautiful people. How are you doing? Please say hi in the comment section and let me know where you are joining me from. My name is Flora Basie. I am a digital accessibility expert and founder at Linoratech. Linoratech is an incredible company which is helping leaders, talents, and teams close the gap in digital product. Indeed, we are coaching and helping everyone understand and create quickly digital products that are inclusive and accessible to all. Well, today we are going to talk about how do you create connection beyond comfort, right? Sometimes when we talk about connection, it feels like, do I really have to connect to more with more people? Yes, especially if you're thinking about using diversity to create more success in your company, in your business, if you want to attract more clients. And I have the perfect guest to talk about it today. Her name is Meryl Evans. Well, let me tell you a little bit about Meryl. I met her a few months ago, and oh my goodness, she is an open book. She is vibrant. She is kind. She is an amazing advocate, and she is deaf, but she's not leaving that to hold her behind. No, 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 no. She's moving forward and helping amazing organization. You know what? Enough about it. I'm going to share very quickly my screen to tell you a little bit more about her, and then we are going to invite her and start the talk, right? And if you're joining me right now, again, just say hi in the comment section. Don't be shy. This show is called Diverse Perspective. It's the place where it's safe to discuss and share your opinions. So don't feel shy. We are all friends by now. All right, so let me see. I can see a few people. I believe so. Yes. Oh, perfect. I see, yes, a few people saying hi. That's perfect. All right, so let me share my screen very quickly, and then I can show you exactly who is this fabulous guest I have today. All right, okay, so share screen. Just bear with me for just a minute. And as I am doing that, just say hi in the comment section. I am so happy to see you. All right. Listen, this guest today is recognized as top voices to hear from LinkedIn. And we all know that LinkedIn is a professional platform where, if you get to that rank, you're probably doing something right. And she has about 33,000 followers. I mean, please follow her. Please listen to her. She's a speaker. She is just changing the game when it comes to inclusion and accessibility for everyone. So let me just now invite Meryl to the table. All right, Meryl, I am taking you in if I do remember how to do that. Yes! Hi! Oh my goodness, so happy to have you here, Meryl. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Flora, how are you?
I am fantastic. I see a few people dropping comment. As we can see, there is one said hi. Okay, I see LinkedIn user. I see Abhijit that say hi. Oh my goodness. I see also Amy. Amy, hi Amy.
Hi, Amy. We've known each other for too
Yeah.
long.
Oh, cool. And I see another LinkedIn user. He said, howdy, y'all. Coming from Chile,
Oh,
Plano,
that's
Texas.
me.
Yes.
Hello,
Oh,
that's me. I don't know why I'm not showing up as Meryl Evans. I am LinkedIn user.
crazy. I know sometimes the with the tech you have to connect a few things to be able to see certain things. But you know what? That is why we're here. There are a few things that needs to be done, and that's where we start the conversation. So, George, Hi, George, as well as I see Kirsten. Hi, Kirsten from Boston. Oh my goodness, so happy to have you here. All right, so let's talk very quickly. Please, Meryl, can you introduce yourself? Tell us what you do and why you're passionate about doing what you're doing.
Well, howdy, y'all. I am Meryl Evans, pronounced she, her. They and them are okay too. And I have brown curly hair, and I'm wearing a purple shirt that says Power over Perfection with the accessibility icon in the over. So I've been self-employed since 2005. I got started as a digital marketer. I still do that. I still do writing, but I have changed my career to be more focused on accessibility and disability inclusion. And I do that by speaking, by doing training sessions, by meeting with companies to get them feedback on their product processes, whatever, to ensure it's being inclusive of everyone and all disabilities and beyond.
Yes.
So I am very passionate about it because obviously I was born for it, because I was born deaf. So obviously it hits me. I know what it's like to be excluded. I know what it's like to run into barriers that keep me from doing something I should be able to do. So I don't want that for anybody. So I am just out there trying to educate. The biggest problem we have is the lack of education. So that's why I'm out there trying to educate people every day.
Oh, I love that. Do you agree with Meryl? If you do agree that education is the number one thing that we need, right, to improve, can you just put education in the comment section? We want to know that you guys are engaging with us as we are talking. We want to feel you guys. Okay, so put education, and again, don't feel shy. I love what you just shared. And I think that you are coming from a lived experience of a person with a disability, and definitely exclusion doesn't feel right. I myself, I don't have a disability, but I had a chance to travel from one place to another place. And because I traveled so much when I was young and adult, I sometimes loved it, but sometimes did not because I felt excluded. Excluded because I didn't look like most of the people sometimes, or excluded because of the way I reason or my choices or so many things. But I love how you bring it, that exclusion. It just doesn't feel right for everyone, for just everyone. Now that we understand a little bit of what you're doing and the fact that you are passionate about accessibility and educating people to create better and to be more inclusive, one question that people often ask is, who can be an advocate for accessibility? Who can be an advocate for disability? I wonder, yes.
Dr. Miller, I love that question because the answer is you. Everyone watching this, you can be an advocate for accessibility. You're a customer. You buy product, right? So if you discover a product not accessible, complain to the company. Write to the company, explain to them why it's not accessible. Because it could simply be they're not aware. Or there might be people in the company that are aware, but they're not in the right part of the business to know that something's missing. Because companies are big. So you might have somebody in product development who creates accessible products, but you don't have somebody in customer support who ensures communication with customers is inclusive. So there's just so many elements to accessibility beyond just products and digital.
That's so true. That is so true. I love that. I think that most people feel like a person who is supposed to be an advocate has to be very smart, very knowledgeable about accessibility, have years of experience. But you're right. It can just be you. Maybe you've noticed something that is not working. Maybe you've noticed an experience that is not working, even with your friend. Perhaps you don't have a disability, but you have a friend or a family member with a disability. Sharing the feedback with the business owner, with the product owner, can help everyone. So, what you're saying really is that everyone can be an advocate. Ooh, I love it. You know what? When I started thinking about creating my own company, Mariel, one of my good friends with a disability approached me and said, "You know what? Love it. Do you want to work with me?" And I was really flattered. Just to be honest, I was grateful he approached me for that. But I didn't want to work directly with him because I had too many ideas that I wanted to create on my own, and I was thrilled. But then he said, "Flora, you don't have a disability. Why are you advocating for people with disability?" And for a moment, this took me back. And I was like, "Oh, wait, yes, maybe people will not listen to me because I have no disability. I cannot claim that in order to showcase value and advocacy around accessibility." But what you just said is that it doesn't matter if you have a disability or not, go for it. But I'm glad because as I was moving in my own journey, I've decided just to go for it because a person with a disability can advocate for themselves, but sometimes they also need ally. Everyone can contribute. What is your thought? What do you think?
I exactly what you said, Flora. Everyone can contribute, and no one person can represent all the disability. I mean, there are just not one person in the world that has every possible disability. I mean, there are people who have multiple disabilities. I do, but nobody can have other perspective. And besides, the more disabilities you have, the different perspective you have. Oh, a blind person and a deaf blind person do not have the same experiences, even though they share a disability in common. So we need everyone. It's always important to have people with disability involved in accessibility input and feedback. That is so important. We also need people without disabilities to be involved because sometimes you're in a better position to make the business case to someone. They might be more apt to listen to you as someone without a disability than me because they figure maybe I'm just doing it for myself. But you have no connection to it personally. I mean, not you may have family friends, but I'm talking about you as a person because I have my spouse is on a nonprofit board for involving deaf people, and because I could not join the board, I just didn't have the capacity, and we wanted to make sure that somebody with the all deaf background was included on the board because the board is mostly it's all people who sign and I don't sign. So, but when they look at my spouse, they look at my spouse as a hearing person, not as someone with a deaf wife. So it can be challenging, but my spouse has brought a lot of value because he has a lot of knowledge about how boards work, like financial.
Yes.
So we all have something to contribute.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I love that. What you're saying is that sometimes, first of all, yes, one person cannot represent all disabilities, and I'm glad that you're pointing that. So whenever even companies are inviting people, and they feel like one person is a representation of everyone, that is not always true, but it is definitely a place to start, right? And I see a few people commenting here. Let's see. Amy said yes to education. She agreed totally. The LinkedIn user, one of them, said, "Marion, I love your approach on education, not shaming." Yes, that is how we drive the change. Yes, Thank you so much. And I see Kirsten said advocates are so important. It's so true. To move initiative, to move project, to move and get even a better world, we need advocates in every field of life. I totally agree. I see Dr. Khaled. Hi, Dr. Khaled. So happy to see you. It is even more noble for the people with that disability to use technology to help people with disability. That is so true because we all can help remove barriers in the environment and in the
Exactly.
digital world. Love it. Okay, the last person that I see said, any question, y'all?
That was me.
Oh, that was you. Okay. Yes, guys, if you have any question, please again feel free. We are here to really go deep. So if you have any question of you seeing something happening out there and you're like, oh, I wonder if they can answer that, just put it in the comment. We will try to answer this. Okay? All right. Think ahead. Okay, perfect. I see a lot more messages, and that is fantastic. Okay, yes, you have always to plan and think. So, okay, let's move on with the next question. And if you have any question, if so far you are liking what you're hearing, please, please, please put a thumb up, a love, a reaction. Let us know that we are really providing either a validation to your own thought or maybe we're adding. So, like, love, and share. Okay, so I want to know the second thing that I want to know that always come up is how do we change the culture and the narrative around accessibility and disability, especially we see it everywhere, right? There are a lot of talk out there about ableism, and also within companies sometimes people with disability do not have the proper accommodation to do the work that they are fantastic and they can do. So, how do we change that narrative? How do you change the culture?
Well, one of the challenges, the companies think they don't have disabled employees and they don't have disabled customers. That's one of the most popular reasons companies don't listen or pay attention. But so many people have disabilities that cannot be seen and they're not sharing because they don't feel like the company culture encourages it. A company can create a safe space by showing it in action. They show it in the word. They show it in the website. They show it in the position description. There's so many ways to do it. And they think, okay, my audience, I sell cars, so no, I don't have anybody who drives with a disability. Wrong. I drive. I have a disability. Imagine that. So, and I know people who use the wheelchair that drive. So don't that yeah. And the way I like to make the case is that you want to think universal design, which goes beyond accessibility. Because universal design is about the greatest number of people who can use your product or service. Isn't that what you want? Don't you want to reach as many people in your target audience as possible? Ha! Floyd! Exactly. So accessibility is how you do that. And you're giving people options for engaging with your company when you think about accessibility from the start.
Love it, love it. And I think that this so it's so well said because everyone really we need to change our mind around accessibility and disability. We usually by default put a label on people with disability, like a person who is blind is probably just seeing pitch black, but many people with blindness can see a little bit. They can see a little bit. I remember I just recently, oh gosh, I just love her. Kate, she is one of the director for the blind community, and as I was talking to her, she is a blind person. As I was talking to her, she said, "Oh, are you the black lady that came and gave me a hug?" And I was like, "How does she know I'm a black lady? She's blind." So I asked her, wait a minute, you are blind, right? And she said, yes, I'm legally blind, but I can see a little bit. Not enough to do certain things, but she can tell a little bit. So, guys, when we put label on people because of a disability, we need to be careful. Many people with a disability can do so much more. We should not box them in a specific thing and think that they cannot do it. If you have job opportunity, if you have, you need input, ask, communicate. That leads me to the next question, and I see few people saying something. I see Abhijit said something around he's a designer and wonder how can we provide a resource that can help a designer. Abhijit, great question. I can share a few links after the show, but Meryl, do you have any thought on that?
Yes, one of the best resources is W3C. They have several, one free online course on accessibility, and that's one of my first ones because they tend to be the premier trusted store for all accessibility information.
Yes, they do provide a lot of good value. So, Abhijit, check that out. And if you have more questions, just reach out. We are happy to help. I see Homer said exactly. And guys, please, if you're joining now, say hi in the comment section. If you feel like this is great and valuable, put a thumbs up, put a heart, right? We love heart. And Homer also said something about had this same conversation about leaving people out this morning. Oh, love it. When we start that conversation, we bring more awareness. And sometimes we even explore things we didn't know before. So let's talk about how do we connect fearlessly with maybe the community of people with disability, or maybe even advocate with that disability. Any thought?
How do we connect with people? Can you ask your
Yes,
question again, please?
I can definitely do that. Usually, people are a little bit fearful about connecting with those with disabilities. Some feel like, oh no, maybe I'm not respectful of, who they are with the disability, or they just shy away, right? Because we are all human beings. Sometimes we get a little bit scared when we have to meet new people, but sometimes meeting new people outside of your network can increase your net worth, right? It can increase your skill, your understanding around disability. Even it can create innovation because you become more creative, you have
Yeah.
more imagination. But it all starts with connection. So, how do we connect with, for example, people with disabilities?
Good question, because so many people don't have or have either not had any or very little experience in meeting people with disabilities, or they're not aware of it because they don't have an apparent disability. So, how do you connect with people? You can contact organizations, lots of organizations that support people with disabilities. You can be a volunteer, you can contact them and attend events focused on them. Like there are many accessibility conferences, and when I go to them, I meet so many people with disabilities at those conferences. And just act around, talk, or LinkedIn, follow people like me and my other Africa and learn from them. That's a great way to do it. And it's so important to read our voices, hear our podcast, watch our videos, because the more you do it, the more comfortable you become. The reason we're not comfortable is because we're not exposed to it enough. I mean, I remember I struggled to say some words in the disability vocabulary because I didn't say them often enough. Now I'm comfortable because I talk about it all the time now.
Ooh, I love it, love it. And that's so true. Even that is how I met you, Mariel. I saw a couple of your contents and I said, you know what? I need to talk to her. I need to talk to her. And I sent her a message and she's like, oh, yes, we can talk. That's about it. That's how easy it is. So if you see a person with a disability who is sharing content already on social media, guess what? They are open to talk. They are open to share. They are open to help. That's already one thing. Now, the second thing that you can do is probably check around, maybe in your community, like Meryl said, in your network, in your community, go to events that are advocating for people with disability. You have much more chances to also meet other people with a disability out there and start the conversation. I know, for example, there are many ways you can connect. So some people, when they go networking, right, they like to go in the room, they look for people they know, and they go there and they just chat for the whole night. Okay.
Guilty?
Yes. Do you
Yeah,
do that? Do
well,
you
I
talk
get
to us?
nervous because I don't, it's hard for me to know who to talk to because I don't know if I'm going to understand them. So I'm trying really hard not to hold on to someone, and I do push myself, but I do struggle to go from person to person.
Yes, and I think everyone is like that. I have the same feeling. Please let me know in the comment. Do you have the same feeling? Do you shy away when you go to network? Are you going toward just the people first that you know already? Let me know in the comment, right? And I've done that a lot. I've done that a lot because it creates comfort, right? It's like you have one person at least that you know in the room, but I've also,
Exactly. I need at least a couple faces I know, but growth comes from stepping out of our comfort zone. So I try, but I just get nervous that I just won't be able to understand them. And listening is so important to me.
yes.
And Flora, we got a great question in the chat. Do you mind if we talk about it?
Yes, please. Which question is that? Okay, I see a lot of people commenting. I'm just gonna
Okay.
read that one. I love to hear thoughts on the recent trend of companies divesting from accessibility to save money and opting for AI solution. Oh yes, please talk about it. Share your opinion.
So thank you for the great question, Cody. Great to see you. Thank you for coming. And yeah, it's a real problem because AI is just booming and companies are just leaping into it without thinking. They're not thinking about the bias. They're not thinking about the problems that come with it. And you're right, more and more relying on auto caption, especially on live shows. And a lot of times these captions are all uppercase as well, making the experience even worse. And it's very concerning. How do we change? I am trying to, I keep talking about it. I keep, so whenever I have an experience, I write about it on LinkedIn in hopes that people will see it and understand the problem with it. But when it comes to live caption, automatic caption, like in a live situation like this, I struggle with it because automatic caption are fast. And when I'm speaking, I need the panel or fluid caption to come through faster because I don't want to wait and have everybody staring at dead silence. So automatic captions prevent that, but they're not accurate, obviously. So that's why you have to look at the situation to identify what works. And of course, if somebody requests a specific service, then you want to deliver on that.
That's true. That is so true. AI is moving so fast and everyone is trying to take advantage. But you're right, there are still some limitations, although there is a progress right there, right? When we're talking about auto caption, like even myself, when I was trying to auto caption, and you and I had that experience just recently, right? When we were talking, and you were also pointing what is the best way to auto caption. Please follow Meryl. She has a link on her page or somewhere on her page, or just connect with her where she can show you the best way to auto caption your content so that it appear more inclusive to everyone. All right, so we are almost at the end, and I want to share something very quickly and let you share also your last thought, Mariel. So usually I have this session weekly on Friday for those who are not aware. So please feel free to join me again. I love receiving people sharing a lot more around accessibility. And next week, we are going to have actually, I'm not really sure how am I supposed to share that. Ooh, are we? Am I doing the right thing? No, I'm not doing the right thing. So I'm going to remove us just for a minute, and then bring us back. Is that okay? All right, perfect. So that was interesting. I'm bringing us back so that we can talk a little bit more. But yes, next week we're going to talk about WCAG 2.0 to 2.2, which is upcoming, and how this is going to affect businesses and product. But before we leave, I want to give a last thought, to Meryl. Meryl, do you have anything you want to share? I am so grateful that you've decided to come here and talk with us. But is there something else you want to share very quickly with the audience?
Well, please connect with me right here. If we're not already connected, you can find me on Meryl.net. I have a newsletter. It doesn't go out that often. Just usually when I publish the blog, a newsletter pops up. So it's occasional. So, but yes, please connect with me, and I'd love to get to know you. Thank you.
Oh, definitely. So please connect with Mariel. She's an open book. She's very kind. She's very warm, and she responds very quickly. So yes, your message is not gonna lie down for years or for months or for weeks. Hopefully, she is really fast. I When I connected with her, she just responded right away. She's very kind. Love you, Mariel. So everyone, I hope this session was really valuable to you. Please again say thank you to Mariel for being here. Love you very much. And thank you again, guys, for just joining us. And please feel free to share this event with your network. I wish you a wonderful weekend, and bye bye, everyone.